Hey, welcome to It's All About the Hunt. I'm Nate, and today I'm going to be looking at some Super 7 Reaction Plus figures. I got some G.I. Joe, I got some of the Universal monsters to rip open and take a look at. I am loving this retro resurrection. I think that's what they're calling it. They just had Toy Fair the last weekend, and they just announced a bunch of new Reaction Plus lines that I'm actually pretty excited about. So in the G.I. Joe, they're going to be releasing Dana from the October Guard. They've got a Chuckles, Hydro Viper. They had a Flash as well that looked kind of cartoon accurate. There's a cool comic pack actually that's packaged with a #1. It's got the Marvel #1, but they're calling it from Skybound, I guess, because they have the rights to it now. I don't know. Cobra Commander with new deco, so I'm kind of stoked about that. They did announce a next wave of the monsters as well, with the Mummy, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, and the one that I'm actually kind of really excited about, but it's kind of weird. I don't know how you guys feel about it. You have to let me know in the comments below. But they announced the Ninja Turtles as reaction, articulated. I'm kind of stoked for them. Granted, Playmates and other companies have, when they went back in, they've given them super articulation, and they made the turtles way better than the Playmates that I got down here on the bottom shelf from my childhood that have none. Well, they had some wrist turns and things like that, and elbows, but anyway. So I'm super excited about that stuff, and that just led me right into this because I want to rip some of these. So I'm going to check these out. I'm not going to open the Snake Eyes. I have too many Snake Eyes as is. At one point I collected every version possible, so there was 50 of them I think back then approximately, and including even some of the harder to find ones from the Build the Rule line that had there was a headquarters that had a Snake Eyes and an AVAC, and that one was pretty rad, and a couple others. Anyway, so I'm just gonna pack him up and keep him sealed because I don't really need another Snake Eyes on my shelf, and the rest kind of will fit when I need him to. So he is pretty dope. He's got a red glow. I couldn't get him to glow in the dark yet. He hasn't been in the light long enough, but he's pretty rad. Up on the top, you can kind of see some of the other figures that they've released so far. I've showed in my previous video if you want to check them out. The Pythona, the Once a Man, the Fatal Fluffy, and Raymar. They also, oh yeah, so now I see Falcon on here because Falcon's one of my favorites, but they're doing a 250th line as well, which looked kind of interesting. They got just red, white, and blue deco. I don't think I'm going to pick him up. Maybe just the Falcon, just because he's one of my favorites from the old G.I. Joe the movie. But besides that, oh, hold on. They also announced Visionaries. I don't know about you guys, but Visionaries are super rad. They was short-lived. Didn't last too long, but they were a little bit taller than G.I. Joe's, and they had the cool holograms on them. And I remember quite a few of them. I don't know all their names. I had to do with the cheetah, and he was red and gray, and so that might be a really cool line to see too. They didn't announce if they're going to be Reaction Plus or if they're going to be the Super 7 Ultimates or what they were. They just kind of they hinted at the retro resurrection, so it could be cool. I'm kind of excited to see where it leads to. So today I'm going to rip these 5, and we'll see how they are. First up, Cobra Commander. We always have enough Cobra Commanders. However, this one's pretty dope with the cape. He's got his cane, very similar to his old school original straight arm or 82, 83, whatever design. However, he gets the cape and the staff in this one and not the pistol, so pretty cool. I'm gonna rip him and check him out. It's gotta be, I just like the cape. I think that's the reason I wanted to open him up and put him up on the shelf. One accessory changes a lot, That even happened with the Star Wars Balin Skull, and I'm gonna mispronounce the name, Shinhati. Shinhati? No. So no weapon. His cape, I like the cloth. Looks like it just hooks on to the front. I do like the Cobra symbols that are on the top of the cape as well. It's pretty dope. The articulation, the plastic, I mean, it's Super 7. If you've opened any of them, they all kind of feel the same. They don't feel quite as good as the old school 80s. The plastic isn't the same as the old school 80s G.I. Joe figures. The joints, feel pretty good. Not too wobbly, nothing like that. They feel loose enough though that you can actually move them around and pose them. Supreme Leader Cobra Commander. I mean, kind of basic, but pretty rad. Alright, on to the next one. This is a character that was not made in the previous G.I. Joes. She's one that they didn't make back in the 80s or 90s, so that's kind of the ones that I really enjoy picking up more than like the remakes or the rehashes of some of the other ones. I already have so many figures. This is why I stopped buying so many Hasbro toys. I already have too many Marvel Legends of the same figures. I don't need the same dudes over and over and over every year. Give me the new guys that I haven't collected yet, and I've seen some of that stuff happening recently. There's such a wealth of like characters out there that they could make and pull from, so that's why I kind of dig this stuff. And I like how they're doing some from the comics, some of those characters from the comics, as well as the cartoon that we didn't get. So she's got like her breathing apparatus. The wire feels a little scary. Hopefully it doesn't break. Look at her before her mask goes on. Not bad. I mean, Super 7, I feel like the sculpts are a little basic. Figures are dope, but still a little basic. Elbows, a little loose. This one's pretty good. You know, there's just not like a whole lot going on. It's just it's a very, very plain buck. But that's because she's supposed to have. There it is. Alright, so it pops open. I'm going to put it on her back first. Alright, so hose, everything goes on the back side. It's got two little pigs. Try to line it up to get it back together. Clips in. Very retro Joe, you know, very old school. Backpack peg. Slides in the hose. A little long, I guess. I guess I could turn the backpack or something if you wanted to. You know, it's up to you guys. Maybe it goes down to the bottom. And it shouldn't be at the top at all. Backpack, it does definitely, no, exactly what I was hoping it wouldn't do. Did pop off. A little thinner feeling than the old school G.I. Joes. The plastic on the hose. Well, that's unfortunate. It's kind of difficult to get it to go back on. It's not quite as easy as the old school Joes were. So just slide the hose back over the peg. She'll keep it. She'll keep the mask. So, Mara, Cobra test subject. One little bit of a loosey-goosey arm, but pretty cool. Overall, I mean, overall it's not bad. Not the best of the line, but pretty cool. Cobra Commander still top dog. Alright, now on to the next set. So, these were ones that I thought were kind of interesting. They remind me of, so there was like old school, like the Remco company did some of the Universal monsters, and then there was a couple of like O-ring style monster figures that came out too, like a Wolfman. He had like a switchable head. I can't remember what he was called, but there were some pretty cool ones back in the day too. And I'll put it over here in a minute when I figure out who it was, but I'll do that later. So we're gonna check these guys out. We'll see. We'll start with Dracula. I've also been doing some art based on monsters, so they kind of fit that trend too with what I've been doing. His accessory is a little candlestick. Almost looks like a little gun with a trigger, but it's got like a little snake head or dragon head. It is based on the Bela Lugosi design from, you know, the Universal monster. Feels about the same. I don't expect them to feel different. Still kind of cool. The likeness, pretty good. Head sculpts look good. You know what I mean? Like, they do look good. Some of the other sculpts, a little bit basic. I dig the ring. You can carry his candle. Oh. Pretty dope. So I got a Dracula now. The Joels aren't going to know I'll hit them. Or Cobra. Who knows? You get a vampire amongst your midst. Wish the cape was a little bit bigger. They wrap it, you know, kind of wrap it around him. Straight Batman cape style. Got Gillman from the Creature of the Black Lagoon. The sculpt on this looks pretty good though. They did do a nice job on that. Probably my second favorite out of the ones I opened today, next to the Cobra Commander. So they're doing a Hydro Viper in the G.I. Joe line next wave as well, so are they retooling some of that? He's pretty cool. I think these are pretty rad. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of these Reaction Plus retro O-ring figures? They're pretty dope. Alright, my Wolfman. Last one for this opening. Sculpt's cool. Feels like, looks like jeans, you know? Looks like a dress shirt. Always like the bigger monstery ones, you know, Monster Squad, and you guys see that one of my favorite movies when I was a little kid. His cane's got the little wolf head on it. So, you know, minor accessories, pretty good sculpts. If you're an O-ring fan, I recommend them. I love the, you know, super articulated anything, so. So Lon Chaney as the Wolfman. And that'll do it. Oh, we can pull out the snake eyes again. That's going to do it for today's haul. So, G.I. Joe O-Ring Reaction Plus Super 7, knocking it out of the park. I'm super stoked. Great time to be collecting action figures again. And all the new figures they announced, I'm super stoked to check out. Hopefully they ease them out in release waves, because I can't probably buy them all at once. But, however, if you stop back by, I will probably be opening them up on my channel here in the near future, sometime within the next year, I would imagine. So, thank you guys so much for checking this out. If you want to see more of my collecting journey, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click that button right down below. Thank you guys so much for that. And while you're clicking that one, if you like this, let me know it by clicking that like button. Thank you, thank you. And then, you know, let's talk about them. How do you guys feel about them? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys again for watching. I do appreciate it. Once again, I'm Nate. This was It's All About the Hunt, and I'll catch you on the next hunt.